Let the emojis come in. Our speaker is even eager than you people. I don't understand. I don't understand. You four are supposed to be eager. Oh. How can the speaker be eager than you all? You guys are coming here to gain from him and is eager to share his knowledge, and you four are not eager to receive. Why? Okay, I can see the emojis coming in. Alright. Starting fully, I'm your host to the most, host to the most. And I go by the name of Mowumbi, the Whoopi Odun. Every day like Christmas, every day like party. Okay, let's move on. Oh, let's move on. Let's move on. Before I introduce this person, I would like to introduce our speaker first. Then I'll introduce a particular person I'm seeing on the call. Okay, so last month we had a very, very interactive series. A series that we never knew it would take that much of our time, and everybody was so interested. Some people gained some, you know, some very big opportunities. Even an opportunity even showed up for me too, but it's fine. But those that attended last week, I don't know if you guys are here. If you guys are supposed to be eager for this week, for this, I said last week, sorry. Those that were here last month are supposed to be eager for this month's series, because last month it spoke about building a career in cybersecurity, and we had Mr. Omoson on the series, a lead cybersecurity architect of Access Bank. And damn, it was a very, very interactive series. Everybody was just eager to learn from him, and a lot of people were able to like badge some opportunities with him and some interactive session with him personally. It was very, very fun and interesting. Today again, as Legacy Lab will always give us, Legacy Lab will always bring all these superb speakers to help our careers as a techie, not just as a techie, as an entrepreneur too. If for entrepreneurs, for techies, Legacy Lab series, Digital Ed series is always there to help you out at that point of striving and everything, to build up your grit, to build your grit, your passion for your career. And we have today, you guys are supposed to be sending emojis. I'm about to introduce the speaker. Sir, I don't want to see your emoji. Oh. I want to see the ones of the listeners or people that are here to gain from you. You guys are supposed to be sending the emojis. That's how we do it. That's the culture. That's the culture. Send the emojis. We'll be having drum rolls. We have Mr. Jeremiah Folorunso, a product designer at South Alliance and Resource. He is an innovative product designer and is ready to deep dive into the ups and downs of the creative journey. He'll be sharing with us real world lessons on how to overcome career stagnations and the likes. Like, I don't want to tell you everything. I want to tell you everything that he'll be giving to us today. So I want you guys to be eager, because if I should tell you everything, you guys will just be like, this is what he's going to be doing. Let him unleash. Let him unleash. Why is it the organizer of the event that is eager alone? We have about how many people on the series already, and you guys are not eager. How many images am I seeing? I'm just seeing few names. Hey, people are not following the protocol. People are not following the protocol. So we'll be coming up to unleash, a very, very impactful session onto us. Me as a designer, I'm even eager than all of you here. Let me drop my own emojis too. I was sending a lot of emojis and the celebrating emojis to, learn from him, gain more insight from him. Designing can actually be very, very tiring at some point and even frustrating, especially when you have design blockage, like a lot of things. So we'll be deep diving into this world of design and helping us designers, even as an entrepreneur or a developer. I believe you can gain something for whatever is going to be saying today. And also, I have my Um, hey, my successor from GDSC XU on this call tonight. You know, GDSC XU is partnering with Legacy Lab to organize all the series and the likes, and we have the current lead for GDSC XU on the call, Adeyemi Samuel himself, a badass developer, a badass a badass software developer, back end and front end. Don't play with it. Okay, Adeyemi Samuel is saying hi to all of you. Welcome to the series, and each and every one. I'm welcoming you all to the series. You all are important. You all are recognized. And right now, yeah, let the emojis pop in. Mr. Jeremiah will be coming on board. Mr. Jeremiah will be coming on board. Where are the emojis? What's going on? Mr. Jeremiah will be coming on board to charge us tonight. Mr. Jeremiah, kindly take the floor.
Oh, hi. Okay, hi everybody. Hello. Um, I feel like you've done like a lot. Like you hyped it so much that I have to raise the bar to meet. Sorry, mic's muted. Please help me. I kind of get distracted easily.
Ọmọ ilé master.
Hey
Hello.
God, please can. Hey my Jesus.
Turn off.
Hey, sorry, please can you help me?
Hmm?
Sorry, Adewale, kindly mute your mic, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I feel like you've raised the bar so high, and I have to find a way to like to like meet up with the expectation. Well, it's nice. It's great. So yeah, let me share my screen. Nothing too serious. Just a very regular session. Nothing out of the ordinary. So hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm great. Like I'm happy to be here. I am. I see it as a privilege. It's been a very long time. Not a very very long time, but it's been a while that I did this. It's been a while I did this. My name is Jeremiah Folorunso. Um, there'll be like a lot of calmness in our conversation. My friends call me Jeje. That's because of how calm I could be. So I try not to run, and I will try to carry everybody along. So I currently function as a product designer at a company called Soft Alliance and Resource. I have in previous times worked at a company called the Mullins Group LLC, and also I worked at a company called Terra Learning. For persons that may not know Terra Learning, they used to be called Side Hustles Internship. I used to be the instructor for a number of years, closing on 3 years before I left. And I mean, every aspect of this journey has all been interesting to a large extent. I've enjoyed every bit. I've learned so much. I've met a lot of nice and interesting persons and people. I have, it's been a journey, right? I've learned a lot. And the question of my talk today would draw out for my career basically. Like everything I'll be saying would be lessons from my career, things that I have picked up, things that has helped me, some of the not so great moments, some of the great moments, some of the interesting moments. I would try to summarize everything in like 20, 30 minutes as fast as I could be. I will try also not to rush so much, but I'll carry you guys along. Yeah, so I have some basic questions to ask. You don't need to answer. It's just questions that would lead into what I'm to talk about today. So the first is basically, have you been at any point in your career where have you been at any point in your career where you sort of or your mates are making progress, mates that are on the same level as you, right? They are making progress, but you are not. When I mean making progress, by that I'm trying to say they're getting jobs, they're getting gigs, or they are getting a lot of social media engagement. And possibly it feels like you're doing much more than they are, or you're working harder than they are, or even sharing your work more than they are. That happens to a lot of people. That's one question. Then I'll try to check my screen intermittently so I know that we are all like together, right? So another question would be, I mean, this is more teaching focused, right? Have you have you taught persons, right, that they happen to use what you teach to make progress, right? And you it does not, it looks like you are not making progress where you're teaching. So you teach somebody how to make money from crypto, and crypto is not working for you. So I've been at this point in my career. I feel like I'm still at that point to an extent, but I've made a lot of progress in dealing with it. And what this means is that I'm not speaking to you from like just head knowledge. I'm going to be speaking from a place of experience. And I want to believe and I really hope that you find your place in what I'll be saying, and not just finding your place, you draw out lessons that would help you. So let's talk, guys. Let's move. The first part of my talk is really about is really about career stagnation. I would literally say that you should not fear stagnation. Use it as a signal for growth and improvement. So to make it more contextual, I will share a story. So for about, I think sometime in 2021, I got a role to teach design at a company called Side Hustle's internship, and I did that for 2 years and about, I think, 9 months or so. And good, or one of the major, or one of the highlights of my time there was that a minimum of like 10,000 persons saw my video and they picked up lessons in the courses that I took. A minimum of 10,000 persons. That's huge, right? But where it becomes interesting and difficult to deal with is when um I was not necessarily making as much career progress, right? I happened to notice that a number of my students were using some of the things that I had taught them, right, to make a lot of career progress. They were getting jobs, some were getting really top gigs, both locally and internationally. It was crazy to deal with, right? It was really crazy to deal with. I don't think it was necessarily an easy time, right? Because in as much as people say that as a teacher, what, like as a teacher, the good part, or the good part of a teacher is when you're seeing your students making progress or doing much more than you are. But I feel like that's a very incomplete statement to make, because then again, you're a human, right? So it's also normal to want to have a thirst for more, right? And when it feels like you're not getting that more. Sorry, distractions. Ages. Okay, I'm back. So when it feels like you're not getting more, it tends to dampen your motivation, or dampens your mojo in some type of way. So that's like the summary of the whole stagnancy part. There are other aspects, but I've picked that particular example to explain and for us to learn. So some of the adjustments and lessons that has helped me like to move past that level is first self-assessment. So one of the inherent problems we face as creatives is what we call imposter syndrome, where you have this sense that you do not belong here, or like you whatever the little that you've achieved, you are not, so like you do not deserve it, right? And this is really brought out of comparison, and it's not supposed to be. It's important that we find a way, right, to push past imposter syndrome, right, or to separate it, or to take it out of the conversation and learn from our peers, because sometimes you may not be doing some things right. So what I had to do was that I had to begin to look at some of my students that seemed to be doing a lot better than I was, right? Or a lot better than where I would have wanted to be, or where I was at the time. So I started to look at what made them to do better. Sometimes some of them just had stronger network. Some of them was posting their work a lot more. I'm quite introverted to a large extent, so you tend not to find a lot of my work online. So I'm not the person that would go viral on Twitter because I have posted a really brain busting design. Doesn't mean I can't do it. I don't know, but what it means is just that I've not been that kind of person that's really done it. So some of my students tend to like go in that direction. And what it did for them was that it brought them a plethora of opportunities, right? They could do, so like they could showcase, right, and they could enjoy through. So those were some of the lessons that I picked up. And if I did not assess myself in accordance with those persons, right, in accordance with what they were doing, I may never have really learned. Another way to self-assess really is to look at your strength, and look at your strength, look at where you are, and look at where you want to get to. The distance between both of them is something that we really need to begin to work on. Now, it's very possible that it's very possible that you are locked in this circle, that there is not so much to do, there's not so much improvement to do. I would say that life is a reality checker. It would always bring you back to that point where you need to learn, or you need to do better, or you need to come to the realization that you are, like, there's so much more that you can do. So when I get to talk to my mates or to my students, right, and I share my work with them, people that are closer to me per se, that students that became my friends, and they are doing well, I share my work with them, or I share my journey with them. Their feedbacks may not necessarily make as much sense in the crux of my level, or in terms of how senior I could be. But by the time I sit down, I think back to what they are saying, right? I find out that there is lesson there. There are things that I can improve on. So whichever way works for you, self-assessment is super important. Whichever way you want to self-assess, whichever way you want to assess your skill, your career, it's important that you do it consistently and a lot more. Then the next is to set newer goals. By the time you assess yourself, you find things that you need to do, and things that you need to stop doing, things that you need to start doing, and how well you need to do them. So this is the point where you begin to set goals that are achievable, goals that are, there's a word for it, smart goals, goals that are actionable, goals that you can track. I mean, goals that seem something like, okay, Jeremiah is a junior, he wants to get to a senior level. He needs to learn how to design better. He needs to learn how to use Figma. He needs to learn how to use Adobe Illustrator. He needs to learn how to use Adobe Photoshop, right? And these are the ways he needs to learn. These are courses he needs to take. Now I'm setting goals that I'm actively taking up, that I'm actively working on, right? Then the next is to seek feedback. Assessment and feedback are very similar. Assessment is you going with a raw idea, or you going with yourself. Now, feedback is you going with an update about what you've done. So I've done this, and this is what you said. What do you think? What are ways by which I can improve on these things? Which leads us to consistent iterations. There's something in design that says that there's something in UI/UX design that talks about design thinking, right? Which is the last thing, which is to iterate. By iterating, you use previous feedbacks, right, that you've gotten from your users, right, to do better, to improve on what you've done. There's a statement that also says that if you keep doing something the same way, you keep getting the same result. Now, because you're looking to push out of stagnancy, because I was looking to push out of stagnancy, I needed to begin to reinvent my process. I needed to begin to restructure how people saw me. I needed to begin to do things differently. Before, I never really believed in, like, or I never really had a strong portfolio. I had to begin to find ways to create one. I don't think I have the best one yet. If I feel like I have the worst currently, but I started to rejig my process, rejig my online brand. I don't think I'm there yet, but I've made a lot of progress with it. Then going from stagnation into what exactly a lot of us here would want to learn about, which is job hunting. Stagnation is the first part of it. Job hunting is where a lot of us will be like, ah, Jesus. I mean, a lot of us want to work with Meta, a lot of us want to work with Google, we want to work with Notion, we want to work with all of these big companies, some of these unicorns, I mean, Flutter, Wave, Paystack, and so on and so forth. It's possible, it's very possible, and it's not hard. But let's talk about it. So I remember one time I used to pride myself in the fact that I had never gotten a rejection. That's a lie. But not then, it was not a lie. Now I've gotten a lot. I mean, even relationship rejections. Joking. Yeah, so hey Jesus. Okay, I remember I used to pride myself in the fact that most of my roles, or most of the job opportunities that I've gotten, I have I've never gotten a dear Jeremiah or hello Jeremiah, we are sorry, thank you for your time, but you're not the right candidate for us. I used to have that confidence and that boastful pride, that kind of egocentric mindset. But life is a reality checker, right? You would For me, basically, I had to find out the hard way. I had to learn the hard way that life is not like that. And for the past 2 to 3 years, I've had like the most rejections. I've never even had a lot of acceptance per se, but I've had a lot of rejections. And it's absolutely normal in job hunting. You would find out that about 90% of the jobs you apply for will be rejections. It's not always a testament to how good you are. It's not always a testament to how far apart you are from your career. Sometimes there's just a lot of things that happen on the inside that we do not know about. But from what we can control, what I could control, these are the lessons and the adjustments that I made. Number one, volunteering is B always. I remember one time I volunteered in a particular religious gathering, right? And at the time I had a job already. It's not like I was not job hunting. I just volunteered, and the leader of the gathering asked why. And I had to tell him, I told him that I just want to serve. My reason at that point wasn't to get a job. I had a job that was paying me already. I had a job that could foot my bills. I'm not like the most greedy person that's always looking for the next big opportunity. Right. I was very satisfied at the point, right, at the moment with what I had. And on the flip side, in as much as I did not go there for a job, one I've been blessed, or I've been privileged to like get to most jobs from that particular little aspect of volunteering. I've made a lot of money. I've gotten a lot of referrals. My names have been mentioned in rooms that I never thought they would be mentioned. One of the hotels in Nigeria like that people use, a very popular hotel. I've been part of like their website design. I mean, I anchored it from start to design, from start to end, right? It was really interesting. I've made a lot of money. I've talked to persons that I probably never thought I would have talked to. Volunteering is key. I know we live in a woke culture, in a woke world where we play down on volunteering and we're like, don't do work. Anybody that is telling you they will give you exposure, don't do it. To an extent, they may be right, but there's also a part of it that is very wrong, because sometimes you may not have the strength of networks, you may not have the strength of relationship that will need that, or the strength of work or showcase of work that will help you to get the kind of job you want to get. So volunteering really does a lot. Now the next is network horizontally. By networking horizontal, I mean we should not put a lot of attention on networking with with seniors. Not because there's anything really wrong with it. It's just that they already have stronger networks, and they already have persons that for the most part they can share opportunities with. Networking with your mates is like super, like it is non-negotiable. You go for events and you're looking to network with only the speakers, you're looking to network with only the popular persons on Twitter, but you forget that there's somebody sitting beside you that you could have talked to and gotten their number. You may never know, they could mention you in a room that you would never ever expect to be mentioned in. I've like most of my job roles, even till now, even with the fact that I still apply and I get rejection, most like literally all my job roles have been by referrals. I've probably never had one where I applied, right, and I made it to the interview phase and I got in. I probably never had that. And I don't even know how to. It may be a bad thing, but it's one thing I'm looking to work on soon. But I've not done that. Most of my roles have been through referrals. I pride myself in the fact that I kind of have a relatively strong network. I know people and they know me, right? Then also, one thing I also learned, I started to do, was to build parallel skills. You say you are a designer, you say you're a developer. What other things would you do that makes you more valuable? You say you are a medical doctor. Okay, can you begin to take consultancy for other hospitals, right? Or for individual patients? Do things that makes you more valuable. Now, as a designer, what some of the things I started to do was that I started to learn how to. I mean, I'd been writing before, but I started to properly write, put out content out there for people to read. I started to learn properly about UX copy. I picked up no code. You don't necessarily need to write code. You don't need to start developing. But for me, I started to learn Webflow. I dropped it. I picked up Framer, and I've been on it for like the longest of time. So you need to learn skills that makes you more valuable, because in as much as you say you are like very good a designer or very good a developer, the reason why they might hire you may not even be because of your skill set. There are 1001 other persons that can do exactly what you do and do it a lot better, right? So it's important that you pick up skills that makes you more valuable, makes you more known, so when they see you and they see another person, they're like, okay, there's something about this guy. It may just be the extra skill that he has. And then finally, for this, I say quality over quantity. People say apply for a lot of jobs. I have a different thought and opinion to it, in all sincerity. I have a different thought and opinion to it, because really, right, you may not necessarily improve on your applications. The quality of your applications really speak well over the quantity. If you can apply well for 10 companies, and your quality and the quality of your application is really sound, imagine if one of them sees your application and is hooked, right? And is hooked on your application and then calls you for an interview. Or on the flip side, you apply for those same 10 companies, but your application is not as quality or as sound as it should be, there's every tendency they will not call you. So quantity over quality doesn't mean you're not applying for multiple roles. It just means that you're making sure that your portfolio is on point, your resume is on point. Now, for designers, an advice I would give: don't design your resume on Figma. Really doesn't pass the ATS checker. So as much as possible, create them on like Microsoft Word. Don't use Figma to design your resume. There's just like one problem with it and ATS checkers. ATS checkers are like these technological systems that help to read portfolios and move people past different interview or job hunting stages. And finally, sometimes you may not just be good enough yet. Deal with it. It's not a problem. It doesn't mean you're not a good person. It doesn't mean you cannot be better. It just means that you need to learn more. You need to get stuck in the process and be more and do more. So I want to confirm, I don't know if you guys are with me. If I continue, I have like some 5-10 minutes yet to before I go ahead. Sorry. And can anybody just signify somewhere? Okay, thank you. Wow, thank you so much. I would run now. So the final thing is your brand is your story. Tell it well. This is the aspect of personal branding. What makes this interesting is that for me as a person, I have a very silent personality, as I mentioned earlier on. So you would ask, why talking about personal branding? Now, the reason is a lot of people mix personal branding with online presence. They are not the same. One is a function of the other. That is, if your online presence is a function of your personal brand. If you have a strong personal brand, you may not even have the best online presence, right? Your online presence is there to only portray what you have as from like the online brand or from what you've built, sorry, from your personal brand. So try not to get it wrong. It doesn't mean that I'm not saying please don't focus. I'm not saying you should not focus on your online presence. I'm just trying to clear a misconception that a lot of people have. They mistake the word online presence with personal brand. So some of the things that I've learned, especially as a person that is relatively like reserved on the online space and has like a very distinct career, because I noticed that a lot of my mentors, or sorry, mentees, right, have strong online presence. I know a number of them that has like about 20K, 30K, 40K followers. I'm like, hey, Jesus, my God, what the heck am I doing in my life? It happens. It's absolutely normal. For me, it was absolutely normal. I had to like find ways to learn through it. Now, some persons would not have the strongest of online presence. You need to do other things that will complement that online presence that you lack. Some of them could be having some physical relationships, going for tech events and meeting people physically, right? And building quality relationships. Because if you do not, one needs to work for you. It's either you have a very strong online brand or you have a very functional physical, or you have very functional physical relationships with people, and then your work has to be quality enough, because to a large extent what speaks for a lot of people is the network they know, not even the depth of their work. But since you don't have that sense, or that strong network, and you don't have that strong internet online presence, it's important that your work has to be really really deep, right? It has to be really good. But let's go back into what is on our screen, right? Adjustment and lessons. Share your work everywhere and anywhere. There's this person that I know. His name is Tola Labi, right? He's quite popular in the creative space. In case if you know him, yes. So he shared a story one time about a particular tailor of his that used to share his designs, his work every day at a certain time and with a certain manner, with a certain or in a certain way. And he probed this person and asked why he always did that. The response of this person was relating to the Coca-Cola advertisement story, that these guys every day and every time they post a similar, or they post the same advertisement from like 1 month to 6 months. You see the same Coca-Cola advertisement. I mean, if you listen to, there's a radio station called Brilla FM, in case if you know Brilla FM. It's a sports radio station, right? If you've ever listened to it, they have a particular line that they've been using for like years. I happened to stumble on the radio station like I think few weeks or months ago, and I was hearing the same thing. My name is Ariel Fire. My name is Peter. So many. My name is John Obi Mikel. The same line, they've been using it, and at this like the same way, the same time, and the same way, or the same format. What it does is that it helps your users, it helps your listeners, it helps or it helps your clients that could possibly like approach you for work, right? To keep you in mind, because the world currently, we're in a fight for people's attention. So if you cannot remain in my mind all the time. I can assure you, I will forget you. There will always be someone else that would come up stuck in my mind or would come up clutch in my mind. So it could be that, okay, let me share another experience. So lately I shared a post on my WhatsApp story, which is that I was going to work for a company based in Germany. And one of my clients from like the previous months or something that reached out to me for a particular project. I'm very sure if I did not put that. Now, it's not because I put that I was going to work with a particular client in Germany. It's because I put something that related to design, right? I put something that's relating to my work, and he saw it, right? And he remembered in his head for a certain project or for a different project. So you need to find a way to keep to remain in the minds of your clients or in the minds of people, right? That will possibly hire you for work, probably full time or probably contract. The next is to show and don't tell. Rather than you have a lot of persons that are popular on Twitter and they just say a lot of jargons, their work is not good enough. So rather, instead of you doing a lot of telling, a lot of I did this, I did that, I did that, no, showcase what you did, showcase the process behind it. It helps, it solves a lot of problem, and it helps you to relate more with your work. If you tell me you are a designer and you do not have a portfolio, automatically I can never hire you in this life. Because then my question is, why don't you have a portfolio? Why don't you have something that I can relate to, something I can see how good you are, how quality your work is? I've been at this point before. There was time I was bo- we we grow and we do better, sha. But there was time I was boasting that I didn't have a portfolio and I had like a job or something. Yeah, that was a very unique scenario. That was a very unique scenario because the person that referred me, I had worked with the person already. I had done something already for the person to see it. I just did not have a portfolio for my next job. So that was one of the lessons that I had to pick up. I had to sit back down and create a portfolio, right? That I could showcase to people. So show instead of tell. Don't do talking, just the yarn. Sometimes Yoruba say, so not Yoruba, some people say the yarn dust to a large extent. So instead of just saying a lot, showcase your work, let people see what you're doing, let them see that you're actively doing something instead of you speaking about it. And then for social media, numbers do not equate to value, but have them if you can. In as much as people are popular online and they're saying a lot of nonsense, the value still gives them some level, the numbers still give them some level of credibility. So if you can have those numbers on Twitter, those followership, those likes, those comments, have them if you can. Do not prioritize them. Let them not be your priority to life, or let them not be your metric for growth. They should not be your metric to determine how far or how much progress you've made in your career. But instead, let them be the reason. Let them be like a secondary thing that you're targeting. They would actually they will come as a function of the good work you keep posting online. There was a particular guy online Twitter that a lot of persons are trolling currently because he has a track record of like a track record of posting people work that is not his own, like copying another person's work. But then he has the numbers. He has over 20,000 followers, right? So in as much as there is a conversation of credibility, right, that is stealing people's work, the numbers are still there. For someone that does not know his track record or the past, right? These conversations of him stealing people's work, they will still hire him for whatever the reason is. They'll still hire him. So have the numbers if you can. They are an advantage, right? So if you can, please have them. And then finally, our world doesn't as much forgive quiet people. I know a number of designers or a number of techies will say that they are reserved, they are introverts, they don't know how to post their work online, they don't like doing it. The world will never forgive you. Not because you are a bad person, or not because your personality is invalid. No. It's just because the world we find ourselves in currently, it is it is really, 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 really it is based off of how much people see you, and the idea of yourself you put out for people to see. That literally summarizes everything I've been saying. And I have some final thoughts for you that I couldn't list out in the theory parts that I mentioned earlier on. This is a screenshot from today, so it just makes everything easy. A referral might be the single biggest thing that can happen to your career. You may not be able to apply for all of the jobs. It's very possible that your best jobs may not come as a result of how good you are. They may come as a result of who you know and who knows you, possibly who likes you and who loves you. Sounds cliche, right? The person said, but finding good people who fit a job description, that's JD, really is like finding a needle in a haystack. That's because currently In as much as people say that the job market is very, very saturated, the tech market is very saturated, there's a true part of it and there's a false part of it. Look at the triangle, take it as an example. The base level, you find a lot of persons there, but the higher you go, the smaller the number of persons you find there. So what you should do, your most important thing should be making yourself a person of value by consistently growing and improving, right? Because having this growth driven mindset. But by every single time you assess yourself, you ask yourself difficult questions. Am I doing well compared to my goals of the year? I mean, a lot of people set goals, yearly goals, and they don't achieve a lot of them. That's because there's no feedback mechanism, there's no feedback loop to consistently help them to look back at what they are doing, how well they can do it, and what they should keep doing and what they can keep doing well. So you need to have this growth driven mindset, be good, right? And have a strong network. By having a strong network, I take pride in that for myself. You make your colleagues your friends. I know somebody that is not friends with their colleague, right? They go to the office, they come back, or they go to the office, they do not talk to anybody. This is somebody that I know, they do not talk to anybody. At the end of the day, you find out that a lot, if you're leaving one company to another company, there's every tendency that the person that gets you the job is someone that you worked with before in the same company. So if you do not have good relationships with your current staffs or with your current mate in your company, then there might be a problem. So prioritize networking, network everywhere and anywhere. um as much as possible, I would say you drop the introvertedness, right? And you come out of your shell. It will do you a lot more good than you would have thought it would do for you. And finally, the person said, hence, having someone vouch for you or present your name or CV is a big deal. Remember those uncles that will say, send me your CV, and they will not do anything about it. Well, the ones that end up doing something about it, you find out that they, like, the ROI, right? It just makes a lot of people like make more progress than they would have normally made. Now, my final summary, final thoughts. You may not be stagnant, but you will not know unless you gratitude journal. This is the sweet part of my talk, really. Gratitude journaling is you putting down things or motivations or things, good things that people have said about you. All of those messages that people tell you that, hey, you did so well, Jeremiah, you did, this thing was the best. All of those recordings from your students as teachers, right? Your student telling you, I understood this very well. I mean, I have a lot of track record online, right? I'm hurt now that I did not get to save them. Where people tag me and they're like, Jeremiah taught me this and I learned it so well and it really helped me in my career. Or someone comments on LinkedIn somewhere and they're telling me that what I said spurred them to do better in their career. How I wish I had a backlog or I had a document where I saved all of those things. How I wish I did. What would have done for me is that at any point where I feel like I am stagnant, I can always go back to it, right, and see the previous things that I've done well. With that, there's some sense of clarity that comes with seeing how well you've done in the past. It is not you staying on your previous progress or your previous achievement. Is you leveraging on your previous achievement to clear a way, right, for you to do better. And the next is volunteering may not always mean free work. You determine your return on investment. So it may not always mean that you're not getting paid for your for you're not always getting paid for it. It just means that you should determine what you want to get from that particular volunteering experience. Do you want money? Do you want exposure? I know people don't like talking about it, but do you want exposure? Do you want quality work or do you want a proof of work? Anything you want, you can get it. There are some jobs that I would take now that I would not get paid for it. There are not a lot of them, but there are a couple of them that I will not get paid for it. Teaching is one of them. I don't need to get paid for teaching. I can actively teach without getting paid for it. Now, what is my return on investment? It helps me to fulfill a purpose that I feel like I'm set to do. Right, I have a purpose in my head that I'm here to teach. I'm planted to teach, and I will probably teach as much as I can. The third is to get mentorship if you can. I would say is overrated a lot. People are always mentioning their mentors, but or people are always mentioning that you should mentor them. But what they want is a coach, not a mentor. A mentor is someone that you look up to, someone that you do not necessarily need to talk to every time, but every point you talk to the person provides some sense of value to your career, and you can go back and work on. A coach is someone that looks at that takes a look at the minute detail of your career and provides better ways to do it. So you need to pick which one do you want, a coach or a mentor. A lot of us, a lot of us are thinking we want mentors, rather we want coaches, and coaches are mostly paid. You need to pay a coach for the most part. So if you can't get a mentor, the value is solid, right? The value is really good. I have a lot of mentors, but and they don't know me. That is, there are a lot of persons that I look up to on the internet space. They do not know me. I just feed off their work. I feed off what they are doing and how well they are, or how I feed off their progress, right? And I learn off what they've done in the past. And then finally, pace yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day. I like to share this experience, which is I started to design for like a really long time, I believe. And I didn't get a client for a number of years. In fact, my first client was a Yahoo boy. Please don't arrest me, don't call yes. My first client was a Yahoo boy, and he ended up scamming me. He was supposed to pay me, I think, 4,000 naira, and he paid me like 2,000 naira for a particular logo. I don't do such again, but yeah, it's an experience that I've had that has helped me as well. So pace yourself. Every experience, every possible stagnancy is value in return. The fact that you know that you are stagnant, the fact that you believe that you are stagnant means that you are a growth driven person. It means that you prioritize growth and progress. It means that you're looking to do better, and it means that you're looking to make progress. So pace yourself, give yourself as much grace in that process, right? And eventually things will make sense and your journey would gel at the end. Thank you for listening. I'll take questions now. Sorry for boring if I did.
Who was bored though? People should send in emojis.
I like emoji a
Questions.
lot.
Question time. I'll be opening the question floor. I will. Proudly me. Okay. So my question goes thus. You said um you said everything you talked about was mostly about branding and
Hmm.
not limiting that is there's always an opportunity for growth. Okay, what do you have to tell people that just want to start?
Hmm.
People that just want to start their career or people that have started but they are lost. Like someone that has started but is in a kind of situation whereby the person wants to move further to like to upgrade their skill, but they don't know how
Hmm.
to go about it. They're just lost.
Okay.
What do you have to tell
Thank
someone
you.
like that?
So I had this thought. I had this thought. I think today or yesterday. Forgive me. I prepared my slides. I think an hour or two before the call. But I had this thought to possibly the question would come up. Now, we are human beings. We do not know everything. So it's fine if you're stuck, right? It's absolutely fine. I call it the phase where you explore a lot, right? Where you begin to try newer things. Let me give an example. So I used to be I believe that I got a senior role really early in my career, right? I went from like sort of a junior to a senior, but that's not a bar to set for anybody, right? I got a senior really early. Now imagine you have a senior role and you're looking to make progress. You begin to ask yourself, what are the next step after it? You know, the design career is not really structured, right? You begin to ask yourself, what is the next step after it? What is the next thing that I can get? But there's really not so much that you can get. There's really not so much answer you get. That's the point where for me, I started to like explore. I started to try new things. Now, for persons that are just starting out, I think that you have a plethora of opportunities of things to try. Say, take for example, you are a designer, you're just starting out. Probably you've been designing for maybe just 1 or 2 months, and it feels like you're still stuck. I'll say you keep doing what you're doing, right, while still learning other skills. You keep on, like, if you have a course that you're following, you keep on with that course. If you have an internship that you're going on, you keep on with that internship while you're learning other skills, because sometimes the career that you think that you are in, or the skill that you think that you have, may not even be the one that you dwell on. So if you're learning design, say you're learning design, and at a point it feels like you're stuck, and you have the time space to try other things. It may be time to pick up coding, right? Or no code, not necessarily coding. Some people don't like to write codes. It may be the time to start learning Webflow, start learning Framer, start learning all of these tools that complement your work. They're still in line with your work, right? They're still in sync with what you're doing. But then again, there are parts that you can further. they will provide some sense of easy landing for you, right? To a large extent, you will provide some sense of easy landing, and upon doing that, your mind space will be open to newer opportunities. It does all these things I've said. It doesn't mean that it's a perfect response to your question. What it just means is that you will need to keep trying until you need to keep trying different things or a number of other things until you get to the one that feels like gold for you. I don't know if that helped you or mommy.
All right, thank you very much. I have another question.
Please go
I don't know
ahead.
why nobody's asking questions. I don't know designers here. Okay, you
The
said
hands
you're a
again.
very good teacher, and I can see something
Uh-huh.
in the comment section saying, explain the seamless flow of your message. You're an amazing teacher for real. How can someone be your student?
Ah,
What's
wahala.
the steps to
So,
becoming your student?
hey, Jesus. Okay, so I primarily don't teach again. That's a lie. I'm teaching now. So um I used to teach in side hustle, now called Terra Learning, right? But I currently do not teach actively, but I don't have a class, a cohort that I'm teaching at the moment. I need to take a break. Brings about a different path of my story, right? So I felt stuck, right? I felt like I wasn't making progress in my life. And I felt like some of my students were getting jobs and I wasn't. And I wanted to get a job. It was sometime last year. It looked like I wanted to start getting jobs. Like I needed a job. Let me put it, I needed a job. So I needed a design job, not a teaching job. And teaching is something that I can do with or without getting paid for it. So it didn't seem like something I would look to further into a full-blown career at the moment. So what I did was to stop teaching. I stopped teaching and I put a lot of attention on my own design career, right? I put a lot of attention on my design career. I started to I went back to foundations. I started to learn what design thinking is, like not really in that line, but I started to learn the basics of design because I needed to start again just to prove myself worthy, right? Start again and build up to the point where I was. So I do not actively teach currently. But I mean, you never know. In the next few hours, I could say I want to start a course and it could go. But the best way to learn from me now is I have a slide after this. Let me show it. So the best place to learn from me now is from a particular publication that I started recently. So it's a place where I'm looking to share my thoughts, or I started to share my thoughts already. So I may not actively be talking to somebody physically, but I write things down that a lot of creatives or a lot of people would relate to, right? A lot of people relate to basically for lessons and for career growth, basically. So this is where to find me. It's a Substack. You can subscribe to the newsletter or the page.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I think
You
somebody
don't
is
sound
raising
convinced.
his. What is it?
I said you don't sound convinced. It's fine, no problem.
Don't worry, I'm still coming for you later. There'll be a
Okay, yeah.
one-on-one talk.
No wahala.
I can see somebody raising his hand. Are you coming on board, Mr. Abdulatif? Are you raising your hand for question?
Yeah, I'm raising my hand for question.
Okay, you
No,
can
not for
come up.
question though. Just to just to be here. I'm here to support my man. I'm talking about getting stalked. You know
Okay.
already. You know as they go already. So I'm just here to cheer him up and tell him a very very big thank you for everything he has done and he's doing. He should keep doing him and the sky is just a starting spot.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Mr. Omosojuwa, you are highly recognized, sir. I'm just seeing your name right now. I'm like, oh, you must have been here since. You are highly recognized, sir. Thank you for joining.
Yes, man. Thank you. I said let me listen in this time, but you sure had to drag me out. Um, this is nice, by the way. Everything you have said is valid, and yeah, I get the feeling stuck pattern now. But yeah, you're doing a great job, man. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Jeremiah, me, I'm coming for you personally. Oh. So I'll talk to my guy for that one, connect personally. I don't know for
No.
others. Am I the only
I think
designer
there is
here? So you
I
could
think there's
assist
one
And
me
more.
I'm
low
and I'm
key.
actually one of his
Social
students
media will not forgive
also.
you. I'm telling you. Okay.
I'm actually one of his students also, so that's why.
Mm, okay. So I've met
So I
someone
think
and they
there's
collect.
someone's hand that is raised, Paul P or something. I don't know. P
Oh,
or
that's true. Sorry. You can come up now.
Hi everyone.
hi.
Hope you're well. I'm Jeremiah. I attend a lot of seminars. I have to say this is one of the best seminars I have attended, and I don't even know you from anywhere. Um, it was so informative. The amount of knowledge you shared, and I'm telling you, like you did such a great job. And I'm very happy you have a Substack. So I just subscribed there. But Jeremiah, this is one of the best seminars I've listened to, and I listen to a lot. I read a lot. You are very empathetic. You covered a lot of points that people in the situation, people having this pain point would need. And I would say that people should really follow his advice. I'm a product manager. Um, so I mean that's just my background. So I can say that this is one of. So I would an advice to you, Jeremiah. You say you don't want to teach, but I would say, I mean, you've already started on Substack. I would say that slide that you created, I would actually create an ebook and start monetizing it, because yes, you gave it to us for free, but it's actually something very, very valuable. It's actually very, very valuable, the information you shared for free. So I would say still try and monetize it if you can, and add more as well. Yes, do your Substack, but still try and monetize this information you gave. It was very, very good.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we have another hand raised up at Uha Okechuku. Am I correct? You can come aboard.
Hello, good evening, guys. Uh, I wasn't going to say anything before. I was just going to like counter Poppy's statement. I don't think. I mean, I feel like for Jeremiah, it comes across as a gift, and he seems like he's just eager to like share that gift with the world for free. So I don't think everything has to be monetized in that manner. At least if it's something that, I mean, yeah, we are getting his teaching for free and everything without having to pay. If it feels like that's a part of him that he can share with the world for free, I mean, I think it's fair enough.
I
But if
said what I said. Jeremiah should monetize. I said what I said, and I'll say it again. I
I
said,
mean, it's still left
let
for
me
him to
tell you,
choose,
and
though.
do you know what? I'm saying it from someone who, he says the difference between mentoring and coaching. I coach. I do
Okay.
coach people as well. I help people get jobs as well. And I will still tell, and I do it for free as well. And I will still tell Jeremiah to monetize the information that he's given. Yes, he shared it for free. Obviously, we've benefited from it. It's being recorded, benefits. But if you can expand on the free knowledge that you've given and make it even more in depth, monetize that part. You can still give free. I mean, if you ever see products, they'll give you free trial, right? But they need to make the money too. And then, if you want to upgrade it here, you now do subscription, right? So not everything is free. Yeah, he'll give you the free, but he has to eat. He has to build something for his family. Monetize it. It's his IP. I say monetize it as
Well,
well.
it's fine. I mean, that's still left to Jeremiah. See, but Jeremiah, when it's time to monetize, please, some of us just put me on the free subscription part of it, sha. Don't mind All right. Thank you very much for your time. Your messages are very, very insightful. Thank you. This is well worth it. And this is like the second time I'm joining Legacy Lab. The first time was with Omasanjua. Hello, Omasanjua. Thank you for you're like my guy in the cybersecurity stuff now. So I followed you on LinkedIn already, and I'll be reaching out sometime. You get, I'm still like a learner and everything. So I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers of the show too and everything. This has been a very great one. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
so yeah, you're welcome. But I'm going to monetize my LinkedIn now, so please enter
Now,
my
wow.
DM.
You see what Poppy has caused like this.
I'm saying if the value you're giving is worth it, people will pay for it. The right people will pay for it. I'm telling
That's
you.
right.
That's just it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you, everybody. I so much appreciate the comments, the feedbacks. It's great. I'm very grateful. Majorly because I do not, how do I put this? I do not think this as a job opportunity. I see it as a privilege to speak to people, to inspire people in some way, to help people to do better, to help people to be better, not just do better. Thank you so much. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you, Legacy Lab. Thank you, Adefemi, the guy that I don't know, no comments, but thank you so much. I really do appreciate. If for any reason you need to say hello to me, you have other questions. I didn't put my social media, my Jesus, sorry. Um, I just read it out. I am a JJ Folorunso on literally every space, one very young human being on the internet. JEJEFOLORUNS. So if you need to get this, I think Adefemi can like the slide deck. I know that I know the path of monetizing. So I'm not playing down that, right? I believe that currently maybe I mean for the community this can go for free. So if you need to get the slides, I can absolutely share it. Adifemi can reach out to me. um I'm here, thank you. I'll move now.
Okay, so such a wonderful session, and somebody was trying to block the easy access we have through payments. Okay, it's fine. I don't want to dwell on that very much because we have students that are out there and some people that are not even having the capability to pay for some things. So it's left to Mr. Jeremiah do. But
Guys,
I'm
don't
glad
get
to
me. I
have
just want to
been part
butcher
of
the
this
point.
session.
I just want
Waiting.
to butcher the point. I want to butcher the point. Yes, he should give out free content. He should mentor, do it from the good of his heart to help the community, to help people. It is a lovely. You will get blessings on blessings. But there's a segment and a demographic that will pay for the information that he's giving, and he should monetize it for them. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that
That's
very
right.
good
That's right.
insight.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a wonderful session, and we have come to the end of the session. Special thanks to each and everyone that joined the series for this month. Another series will be coming up next month by the last Thursday of the month. And special thanks to our amazing partners, Outnovately Africa, GDSC Google Developer Student Club, Ekiti State University, Mr. Omosojua for his invaluable support. And also you can also reach out, you can also get more information about the series through our Twitter space at Legacy Lab. And also you can always get the videos of every series on YouTube. For digital X series, you can always get it there. Just search Legacy Lab and you'll see the videos under digital Edge series. If you have missed some, like someone just said, the series he joined was of last month and I really enjoyed it. You can always get back to the series and watch it all over again if you were not present to gain from it. And also your feedback is highly important. Kindly click on the link in the comment section to drop your feedback at okay Chuku. You can drop your feedback there. It's highly important. Okay, we have people raising up their hands before I round up. Mr. Amosojo wants to come on board.
Is it hello? Is it are you talking about the Twitter or where did you ask me to drop my feedback?
There is a link in the comment section, the
Okay, okay,
in-call
okay.
messages.
Okay,
You're going to see
okay.
it there. Just
All
click
right.
on the link and drop your feedback there.
We'll do.
Yeah. And also don't forget to follow the speaker at JJ Folorunso on all social medias. And also thank you all for attending. Mr. Omosojo, do you want to come up? I can see your hands raised.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. I just wanted to quickly do up a little information. So for those who are in tech and looking to venture into cybersecurity, if you are looking to take any CompTIA certifications, you can reach out to me. I could help you get up to 30% off the cost of the examination. So I just thought to drop that out here. Like it's a huge amount of money if you think about it. So just thought to put that out here.
Thank you for the information, sir. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, that's a very very great information. I believe my successor has picked that already for the people in the community. I'm sorry I would have helped you out as a predecessor, but it's your time to share the informations. At the Samuel, I believe you can hear me. So share that to the community. Don't forget about that. And for every other people that have attended, thank you for attending. People that have picked one or two, thank you for attending. See you guys next month, last Thursday of the month. Have a wonderful night rest. I don't think I need to do recap this night. Everybody picked one or two easily. All right, so I've come to the end of today's series. Have a wonderful night rest. See ya all next month.